look at another striker, and I mean, this one, Bart, Viktor Gyökeres, almost has been we know, been banging them in for fun in Portugal. And a lot of people were almost expecting Viktor Gyökeres to almost, I suppose you'd say, have his pick of moves across Europe. A lot of people thought all the big clubs in. There's a lot of Liverpool fans, and it's clear Liverpool have looked at him as all the big clubs have. We're thinking, yeah, he'd be the one for a good price, played in England before, had that experience, etc., etc. But maybe this is a bit of a loaded question for you right now. As it stands, it does seem that every big club has looked at him or linked with him. There's no doubts about that at all. But every big club seems to be passing up, you'd almost say, on Viktor Gyökeres or not making the move for Viktor Gyökeres. So I suppose in these stats is to find out, is there a why for that or are we missing something?
Yeah, I think, you and I were chatting about this, and I think there is some stuff to like in the stats, right?
Yeah.
But I do think there are a few red flags there which we can look at. Some are statistical and some are behaviour from a club. But if you just we'll start with the minutes, right? So he's got playing time. So this is club collapse. This is all competitions for the clubs he's played for. He has done but he'll finish the season at 3-4, 3,400, 3,500. He did 4,000 minutes in the championship. Poor lad. Or for Coventry, whenever. That must have been low, done actually. But yeah, so he's consistently played twice a week at a high level, right? So you can tick that off in terms of can he do the minutes that we're going to require him to do. He has consistently had a positive impact on the teams he's played for, XG. All right, this is all green here. And in terms of the points total, the team success. So he is a positive impact on the teams he plays for when he plays. All right. If we look at, just try to look defensive actions like that, but goal and shot creation, talking per 90, club collapse. So he is shot creation around 4.73. So he's generally been about 4 with shot creating actions for the last 3 seasons, which includes one at Coventry. Goal creating actions, he has actually increased over the previous time. Now, you'd probably expect that. No disrespect for any Coventry City fans who are watching, but I can't imagine you're creating the best opportunities for a lad. Whereas when you go to Sporting, again, one of the best 2 sides in the league, going to create opportunities, right? So, and that's actually pivoting up as well. If you look at his whole career there, 0.24, 0.3, 0.47, 0.66, 0.84. It's a trend of going up, right? Yeah. So there are some positives, right? Passes, let's have a look at what he's actually doing. So he, 3 balls, not really his game, should we say. Switches, not his game. Crosses, less than 1 a game. So yeah, he seems to be a bit more of a down the middle, not doing a lot elsewhere, which, okay, that's, as we just said, Ramos will do that for you. This guy seems to be able to do it as well. All right. In terms of his distances, passing wise, per 90, so that is short passes. That is 13 short passes attempted per game, which is a high percentage rate, but that's a very low volume. Medium 5.2. So again, that's a low volume, good completion rate. Long, it's just not his game. It's less than 1 pass a game that's long, right? So you're starting to get a feel for what he is. If we go up to shots, though, as people want to look at that. Shots on target, talking per 90. So he takes just under 2 shots per target per game, which is good. And that has also been trending upwards. 0.19, 0.53, 0.98. Total shots as well has been going upwards from 2.98, 3.13, 3.94. So there's some things there to look at where things are on the upward trend, to we say. If we just go back one and get his comparison matrix up. So overall, looking at his percentiles, though, so as predicted, defensively, not a lot going on there. That's being kind. Yeah, he's worse than Ramos, bar the fact that this guy does the interception stuff, which is what part of what we want forward to do rather than tackle. So let's switch those two around. But the thing that you can take caveat, you could say that this guy is probably better than Ramos, potentially. Please don't shoot me. But in between the boxes here, he has a lot of green. Progressive passing received, 99. Now, that could be the way they play. As we said, with Ramos, PSG very dominant, playing one half the pitch. Difficult to get that. Whereas here, a little bit different, could stretch play a bit more. Progressive carries the ball, progressive passes, makes progressive passes when he does do them for a forward. Pass completion, 74. As I said, that's good for a forward. Passes attempted is in the just below 80th percentile. It's not brilliant. I mean, our forwards will do more than that, but it's not bad, right? But if you look at the actual stuff that we'd be buying him for, non-penalty goals, 99th percentile. Non-penalty XG, 99th percentile. Shots for a game, 99th percentile. Assists, 91st. Expected goals and assists, 96th. 99th percentile. Shot creating action, 99th percentile. There's a lot to like about that. All right, there's a lot to like there. If you compare him to our man Jota is better at the defensive side of the game. We've already said that Jota is very good at the off-ball work. He's had 3-4 years of working under Klopp. He knows how to do that. But everything else, Gyökeres is better than Jota this season. It is important to know the league conversion, which, as I said earlier, is 0.82. So you'd have to knock a bit off those stats to bring him over. But still, if you wanted to compare him to Ramos, Gyökeres is probably more of an all-rounder forward when compared to Ramos. I think that's fair to say. If we look at his dashboard, so the good thing for me when you look at Gyökeres is he's in that area there. Zone 14, linked in by play, linked by players. Yeah, if you look at him up to first sub, there's a lot of links from the left side, a lot of links from the eights into him, right? So they're finding him at will. Yes, Sporting are a dominant team. I 100% get that, right? But he's still making himself available in the area we would want our forward to do. He's involved in patches, a bit like Ramos, to be fair. It's sort of like heavily, nothing, heavy, nothing like that. He equally isn't involved that much in terms of the giving the passes. He's happy to receive in the zone 14, but not giving. If we look at his dashboard, pretty much bang on for all the metrics, extremely high for shot percentage and duels in aerials, but what do you expect? If we look at threat, so this is, I can manage to break down with him where he creates his threat from, and he's creating in the central areas here. So that is also an indication of what he's doing. So 43% of his threat he created for the team was in zone 14, 32% of the zone just behind that, which is okay. If we look at what did he do, he stopped 100% of the threat going the other way as well, which is a pleasing element. If you look at what did he do, he created only created 2% of the team's EBB though, so you got to be fair. In terms of off ball, very heavy around where the opposition 6 would be. So that equates to around 11% of the team's defensive actions he was doing in that zone 14 area, which again is not something to be sniffed at. His shot map, heat map, essentially in the goal. I like that, a bit like Ramos as well. And basically has XG from regular play and fast breaks. No set pieces there involved, right? If you look at his shots, he took 5 on in this game, and they're all in the box. And bar one, they're all in the width of the goal. And they are all average XG per shot is 0.27, which is above a big chance. So there's a lot for me. I know when you watch him, there's some physical things like he doesn't turn well. He seems to have a bit of an awkward style. People talk about. He's not, but. And this is where it's really important to do the watching and the rest of it, which they will do. And probably where the other clubs are is the other clubs would have looked at this and gone, wow, this guy's good. Let's go and have a look at him. Done the video, and that's where they've gone, no, I don't think this is quite going to work in the Premier League. So, yes, I think statistically, there are some things to like about Gyökeres, yeah. But when you watch him live and you do the scouting in terms of that sense, you could probably see why he isn't necessarily deemed not suitable for Premier League or a top level side. He's done it. He did okay at Coventry, didn't he? But he got a move to Sporting. He didn't get a move to the Premier League. Right. So that's probably statistically. There are some things I like about him: the position he takes up, the threat he creates, the shot creating actions, all those elements that, to be fair to him, are on paper better than Ramos. But when you add that in, the elements that the club will do and other clubs would have done, you can probably make a case for why they're not going for him and why, if loads of clubs have turned him down, you've got to be a pretty brave club to go, yeah, right, I'll pay you the money for it. Do you know what I mean? If all the other top clubs have turned him down.
Yeah, and it's a completely fair shout. And I suppose a bit of detail we got from analysts that I want to put to you as well, because you mentioned there around his turning. In fact, one analyst we spoke to says he turns like a tank and it's awkward. That's not his, the quick spin. That's not his game. It is more of a brute force. There's power side to his game more than anything. So that's one. The other thing that a lot are mentioning, 27 years old. So you think we mentioned Ramos, that 4 years younger there, 27 years old. So it feels like now or never. And if we're honest, that's older than a lot of clubs want to buy. We know that comes into the mix, doesn't it, as well at the same time. And then this was important that a few other analysts have shouted out, that when we talk about his FB ref profile, which looks great, it's important probably just to drag the screen down a little bit. You mentioned a couple of things there, Bart, that Portuguese differential, and we know we've all got Nunes PTSD on those numbers and that type of thing. And also, if you look at the players that he's being compared to on his FB ref, it definitely isn't top-level forwards. We're talking players at Inter Miami, Orlando City, Ghent and Boca Juniors. No disrespect to any of those, but we are 100% not talking about football's elite or the top European dogs as well at the same time. So that comes into it. Do you think almost that's just defining him a little bit? And maybe you could say it's unlucky because of those circumstances, possibly. Who knows? But the age, the league, the style, maybe the lack of quick change of footwork, if you want to call it that, despite the bundles and bundles of goals, do you think that is ultimately why the big teams are just going, not for me right now?
Yeah, I don't know what the fee is, and that's my bad. I should be keeping up with that a bit more. But I would imagine if that's anywhere near, like, I don't know, 70, 80 million for a 27-year-old, I think that, with those profiles, as you said, 100%, that's why a lot of clubs are going, no, you're all right. I think they'd much rather buy a TK for like another 20 million. And he's at the other end of his career and they think they can mold him into what they want, rather than this guy is going to give you what he's doing right now. You're not going to be able to change a 27, 28-year-old. He's just going to come in, do exactly what he's been doing for the past 4 seasons. If you're happy with that, cool. You fill your boots. But if you want him to do something else, you're not going to be able to do that with him, right? And you're paying a lot of money for someone who's going to probably come in towards twilight peak years, right? So this is his peak. This is probably about as good as he's going to get. We've seen his numbers have been doing that, and that's fine. But and he probably maintain that, and then he'll start to come off again. And what you don't want to be doing is giving him a 4 or 5 year contract, takes him to 30, 31, and he's on the back end of that. His movement's even worse. He loses the bit of the power, maybe those kind of things, and you're stuck with a player that, you stuck with that player. So I would 100% the age thing and the fact that stylistically and everything else and technically probably isn't fit into what the clubs want.
And there you go, ladies and gents. That isn't being derogatory to Viktor Gyökeres. I mean, you can see he's absolutely banged in the goals beyond belief for Sporting, and he's got a good few in the Champions League as well. So there's zero debate about that. But maybe just an insight as to why a lot of the big clubs are not pulling the trigger. It's interesting. There are a few reports, just brought them up here on the price point that you mentioned, suggestions that Gyökeres is annoyed with Sporting because the original talk was around 55 to 60, but in the market they are currently asking for 70 plus. That's the suggestion for a 27-year-old. Maybe that's what it comes down to. But we shall see if anything happens with Gyökeres